Hello everyone. This is the continuation of the previous video, that is the principle of conservation of linear momentum. Principle of conservation of linear momentum. Student, in the last video I have already told you that this is a very important question for your exam. State and prove the principle of conservation of linear momentum using Newton's third law of motion. Now, one problem regarding Newton's conservation of linear momentum. See here, a body of 1 kg breaks into 3 fragments. Masses ratio 1:1:3. 2 equal masses fly off. It means the first line, see, a body of 1 kg, okay, breaks into 3 fragments. 2 equal masses fly off with 30 meter per second. This is fly off perpendicularly, okay, fly off perpendicularly, okay, perpendicularly means here suppose P1 is the momentum of the first body, of the first fragment, and here equal masses of second fragments P2, okay, fly off perpendicularly with velocity how much? 30 meter per second. Here also 30 meter per second. Now find the velocity of third fragments. Students, now see, is there any masses given for first, second and third body? Yes, given. 1 kg body fly off breaks into 3 fragments, 1:1:3. Now you tell me, students, what are the masses of first body, second body and the third body. Suppose third body moving in this direction, this is a third body, and I think the mass of the third body slightly higher than the first and second body, because the ratio, see the ratio 1:1:3. So students, 1:1:3 of 1 kg means how much? 1:1:3 of 1 kg means how much? 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 5. So 5 means the ratio is 200. So here the mass is 200 gram and 600 gram. It means the first one 200 gram means 0.2 kg. Second one also 0.2 kg and third fragment 0.6 kg. 2 plus 2 plus 6 means 1 kg total. Understood? So the first fragment is 0.2 kg, second fragment is also 0.2 kg and third fragment 0.6 kg, and you have to find the velocity of the third fragment, which is not given in your problem. You have to find the velocity of the third fragment. First fragment 30 meter per second, second one 30. You have to find the third fragment velocity. For that we use the conservation of linear momentum. See, the resultant momentum will act for first and second body in this direction, say PR. So the resultant momentum PR, which is equal to root over of P1 square plus P2 square plus 2 P1 P2 cos of theta. Students, here cos theta nothing but 90. So you can ignore this part because P1 and P2 perpendicular to each other. So only PR root over of P1 plus P2 whole square. Now the momentum of P1 how much? P1 means mass into velocity. Here mass 0.2, velocity 30. It means 3 to the 6 kg meter per second, which is similar to P2 because P1 equal to P2, both are same 6 kg meter per second. So put the value here, PR equal to root over of 6 square plus 6 square. There is a 2, 6 square means 6 root 2. This is the resultant of PR. Now students, to fulfill the conservation of linear momentum, to follow the conservation of linear momentum, student, you must equal the third fragment momentum with the resultant. To follow the conservation of linear momentum, we must equal the momentum of third fragment is equal to momentum of resultant of these two. Are you agree with me, students? If you establish the principle of conservation of linear momentum, then you must equal the third fragment momentum with the resultant of these two. Third fragment momentum must be equal to the resultant of these two. Are you agree with me, students? So let's equal it. P3 means the momentum of the third fragment, mass is 0.6 kg, velocity is not given, PR means 6 root 2, so velocity equal to 6 root 2 by 0.6 multiplying by 10, 6 cancel out, so 10 root 2, it means 10 into root 2 means 1.414, so it means 14.1 meter per second. That's the answer. Now students, write it down in your copy. Now students, you tell me what is the angle with the first fragments to the third fragment. This is your homework. You try it yourself. You can do it. See, this is 90 degree and this is the total angle here, the total angle 180. Am I right? PR and the opposite direction. So this angle must be 180. So how much this angle? Please you tell me. I have told you. Okay, so you know you have to find the angle between P1 and PR. This is your homework. Okay, next students, another very important question. Please copy, pause the video and write it down. Another important question, right? What is called concurrent force? Concurrent force, right? Concurrent force. What is called concurrent force? See, if the several forces acts on a single point, if the forces acts on a single point, so the line of action of the force, if the line of action of forces is a single point, then this is called the concurrent force. Suppose here is the body where the several forces F1, suppose this is the x axis, the y axis, okay, here F2, here F3, several forces acting on that point. So in this single point, suppose P. So this is called the concurrent force, or you can use the pulling force also. Okay, so this is called the concurrent force. So concurrent force means the resultant will be how much? R equal to the net force F1 plus F2 plus F3. Am I right? And these are the resultant of the forces. Okay. And now if you take the component of force, so Rx, think alpha is the alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha 3 angle between, suppose here alpha 1 angle with x, so alpha 1 is the angle with x for F2 alpha 2, for F3 alpha 3. So then for Rx component we can write F1 cos of alpha 1 plus F2 cos of alpha 2 plus F3 cos of alpha 3. Okay, and for Ry component you can write F1 sine of, suppose with y beta. Okay, the angle with y axis beta, so you can write F1 sine beta. No, same angle, sine of alpha 1 plus F2 sine of alpha 2 plus F3 sine of alpha 3. Okay, this is the component of concurrent forces. Okay, understood, student? Another very important thing, that is the Lami's theorem. Okay, Lami's theorem. Lami's theorem, you can use it in any problems where the forces acting like this. Next, our topic is Lami's theorem. Okay. Lami's theorem. Lami's theorem. Suppose three forces P1, P, Q and R acting in a point in this way that the angle between P and Q is alpha, Q and R is beta and P and R is gamma. Okay, then we can write P by PQR. PQR is the forces. P force, Q force, R force. P force, Q force, R force, making angle alpha, beta, gamma. Now P, you can equate P with the opposite angle of P, means Q and R, angle between Q and R, angle between Q and R. Whenever you will take P, then write Q and R, means sine of beta is equal to Q by, if you will take Q, then it will be sine of gamma, is equal to R by, if you take R, then it will be alpha, the opposite of this, so sine alpha. This is the Lami's theorem. Okay, it's a very important theorem. By by using this, you can solve many problems. Okay, thank you students.